Canadiens are proud to select Ivan Demidov.
I'm going live.
Yeah. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are going live. The Curfew Boys on YouTube tonight. Post-game show between the Pittsburgh Penguins and your Montreal Canadiens. I am Sammy with the boys, Anthony and cousin Chris.
What's up,
gentlemen. Hey now. Once again, live on YouTube. Please click like and subscribe. It is absolutely free. Follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Twitter or X, and Instagram. Audio episodes available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Give us a like and a review and a rating. It's the only way we can feel the love. Okay. The Canadiens lose.
I'm very disappointed with today's loss.
Yep.
You're really disappointed?
I'm disappointed. I think we could have at least got a point in overtime. I don't know. I'm not saying it was I don't think it was a perfect game. I'm not saying that. I think we were very, very off defensively. Our defense was very lost tonight. But there was some missed calls in the third period that I think could have changed the game. I don't want to blame the refs. I'm just saying could have changed the game. And at least I just would have been happy with a point tonight. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
I would have been happy with a point.
They were nowhere near getting a point tonight. I loved the second period effort, which is rare because the Canadiens are known to have a very terrible second period. Besides the win against the Senators on Saturday night, which was a complete 60-minute effort by the boys, tonight, I thought they were going to come out strong in the first period like they usually do, which was not the case. But then a very strong and convincing second period. And, they go in there with a 3-2 lead. They go in there with momentum. And then that Lars Eller goal just seemed to have kind of put a dent in that. And why does Lars Eller love scoring in Montreal?
It's all players.
Ex Montreal Canadiens legend, Lars Eller.
Ellercopter. I thought it was a perfect example of a young team that got outplayed by a veteran team who obviously has won a lot in the past. Like, the game was so close. The fact that Montreal even came back to make it 2-2 and then 3-2 was like, wow, okay, this is different. At least I felt that. And then just going into the third period, they locked it down. Like, Pittsburgh just locked it down, and they're veterans. Like, Malkin had a hell of a game. He's old man Malkin had a hell of a game tonight. We got to give it to him at the very least.
Well, I was hoping, not going to lie, I was kind of hoping we'd see Crosby get his 1,600 point at the Bell Center, which did not happen. And part of the reason is Caden Gooley was on that guy's ass like all night long. And Caden Gooley is our best defenseman as far as the Montreal Canadiens are concerned. I'm going to say this. We're all hyped on the Lane train. Okay, Lane Hudson is spectacular. He's creating so many offensive opportunities, and he's so dynamic and so skilled. And like literally lots of guys could have had goals tonight because of him. It just didn't work out that way. But as far as what Caden Gooley brings to the table, like you could have all the Lane Hudsons you want on defense. If you don't have a Caden Gooley on defense, it's not going to happen. Now, despite the loss tonight, Caden Gooley is right now, I think he's the heart and soul of defense on this team. Okay. Like we could talk about Matheson and Savard's experience, but Caden Gooley right now is doing a bit more. He's hitting, he's blocking shots, he's providing the offense. Got his first goal of the season tonight, which was, hey, call it for what it is. It was a beautiful play. He's our best defenseman. He really is. I like the pairing of Gooley and Hudson, but in doing so, you kind of, I don't know. Is it still too early for Marty to be changing these lineups like he is right now? I mean, we're only in game 4.
And that's been an issue for a while. Even last season, he was changing the lines a lot. And we've said it many times in our podcast that he needs to stop changing lines very quickly. Give them a chance. You know, you can't hope that a line hits chemistry after a shift or two, right? You need to give them some time. So yes, I think that Marty is changing it too fast. Speaking of lines, I might, might not like what I'm about to say, but I'm not liking the first line. They're not okay. Let me rephrase.
Yeah, you better before you get chewed
I
apart.
guess no, but like compared to, I guess we're used to what we saw last year, right? And I know it's only 4 games in, but we haven't seen that spark on the first line.
Well, they created a lot of chances tonight, though.
Yes, but that spark is still missing for some reason.
Well, that spark is missing because, I Suzuki does this every year. Like, he has a bit of a slow start and then he picks it up. But like right now, it's Caulfield doing everything.
Yeah,
Slavkovsky, beautiful goal. Well, yeah, and very nice goal from him. All Nick Suzuki on that play. Beautiful pass by Suzuki, but on the 5-on-5, like it can't be just Cole that's doing that. It's got to be all three of them.
but that's
But
what
it also,
I mean.
but I think it starts with Suzuki.
But that's what I mean.
my
I
opinion.
feel like that's what they're missing. That spark, that whole line as a whole is not giving us what we expected from them this year, from what we saw last year. Cole is doing everything, and it's only one guy. And again, I'm not shitting on that line. They're capable of doing working magic exactly from last year. I just 4 games in, I expected more of a spark, and we're not seeing it yet. I know it's gonna happen eventually, but I haven't seen it yet, and I'm just impatient about it.
Yeah, well, we're only 4 games in, guys, so we gotta remember that. Did you guys like the Prime broadcast?
Chris, go for it.
Clearest broadcast, Montreal Canadiens broadcast I've ever seen. Honestly, the commentary could be a little bit better. They're clearly individuals who haven't spent too much time in Montreal and commentating on this particular team, but it was just a beautiful job by them. Sportsnet, shame on you, because you've had the opportunity year over year for now, what, 6, 7, 8 years. And again, why is it that I'm seeing the clearest game that I've ever seen in Montreal when Amazon comes in and broadcasts their very first? That to me is again a nod to Amazon. Great debut. They obviously put a lot of effort, even down to the commercials. You know what? It was so nice. There were no betting commercials. There
Oh my
was
God, that's
it was
true,
actually
huh?
and
That's so
entertainment
true.
wise, it was a little bit more pleasant. There were a few new commercials that I had never seen. Like, I don't know if there was this. I'm not going to start giving promotion, like publicity to some of these other big companies, but just to say, all around entertainment factor and quality was up there. I just wish they had more Montreal. Or like, you put a Pierre Hood with that image, destroys. It would be the absolute best Montreal broadcast that you could possibly get.
I speaking of Pierre Hood, like tonight was probably the first time in a long time during the week where I don't watch LDS. And I think simply because it was a special occasion. It's like the opening night on Prime, the NHL on Prime, and luckily it happened to be us. But being a hockey player myself, I have my own superstitions. So when the Canadiens, if the Canadiens would have went down 2-0 at the end of the first, I probably would have switched. But because Goalie scored that goal late in the first, I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me stick with it. Come second period, they had the best period of the game. And I'm like, okay, I said, screw it, I'll stick with it. But then come third period, it's like, whatever, fuck it. I might as well just.
I enjoy the quality. Okay, yes, what Chris said, the commentating was a bit off, but again, they're just new and
so
they're
bad.
starting. It wasn't
exactly
crazy bad. I mean, we've seen worse, we've heard worse, but like if I'm gonna compare what else with TVA, I'll take this over TVA. Is it TVA?
Oh,
Or
by
LCN?
far over TVA.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
But
unfortunately, TVA doesn't meet the same standards like LDS does as
But
far
the-
as French broadcasting is concerned.
Yeah, but the quality the image was
Oh, it was amazing.
perfect. It was beautiful
Quality.
to watch that kind of hockey.
Quality was awesome. Like I can only imagine on like an 80-inch screen TV watching that. I thought it looked great on like my 50-inch. Imagine
I
someone
was
that has.
watching it on my like my regular TV, my 65, but then the second period I went in my bedroom, and it's a Prime TV. It's an Amazon Prime TV,
Yeah.
like the Amazon TVs, and the quality was 10 times better because it was just, I guess, getting the feed from Amazon. It was just, I was freaking out how crazy it was.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay.
Speaking of second period, we kept saying this many times. So I want to throw in one of the comments from our fans, as we promised, with comments from our fans during the game. But we keep bringing up the second period. So I'm just going to throw in this one right now. Anthony.ebarb. He writes, if Montreal keeps playing like they did in the second period, we could make the playoffs. I mean, that's 100% right. If we can keep consistent playing that.
But when
that for sure,
1,000%. But when did momentum start shifting the way of the Canadiens? Like, what did you notice that was like, okay, now the Canadiens are in this game?
The hitting.
Well,
thank you, Anthony. Yeah. The hitting. It was that one line. It was I'm pretty sure it was Evans. I know Anderson was in there too. They dude, in the first period, like even Justin Barron was laying the body. Like Justin Barron and Arbor Xhekaj as a pairing in the first period were actually doing pretty good. They're like not that bad. Like again, this is the most hitting I ever seen Justin Barron deliver ever since he's been with the Canadiens. And I'm not gonna go as far as say like I'm upset that Marty changing the lines on defense is probably what caused him to lose. I'm not gonna go as far as saying that, but Xhekaj and Barron looked comfortable together, and when they were split, that's when maybe the mental errors started coming. Like Justin Barron created a bit of mental errors, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not gonna say mental errors are like where like a bouncing puck at the blue line went over his stick and he couldn't keep it in the zone. I'm not gonna say that, but just the passing to your partner, the difference between passing it to your partner or just clearing out the boards. Like it was those little mistakes like that, and sometimes Matheson had to bail him out. And Matheson was having a great game. He got 2 points still, but that goal that Letang scored on, the beautiful feed by Malkin, I don't think Matheson knew there was somebody else alone behind him. I thought it was just going to be on one-on-one play, and that he would have to beat the forward or get the puck first. Again, tonight, I thought it's not that they got outplayed. I think it's just those mental errors that led to most of the goals for Pittsburgh. The Kevin Hayes goal was
lucky bounce.
It was a lucky bounce, but part of me wonders if the missed clearing attempt by Savard,
Armia
it was a domino effect.
Yeah, like Armia let Letang skate into the zone. Like he could have been a little bit more engaged. Then it goes behind the net. Then Savard misses his clear. Then it goes. They have another shot. Bounces it back to Carlson. Takes a shot. Bounces off. Goes to Hayes. And like nobody. Hayes was just in a good position. I'm not going to fault any of the forwards. I'm not going to fault any of the defensemen for not marking a puck that goes off of a shin pad or something like that and right to you, and he flicks it in. That's just good. Like hats off to Kevin Hayes, but that's not a bad defensive play. But leading up, same thing for the other goal. Slavkovsky, the third goal by Pittsburgh, third or fourth goal.
No,
Slavkovsky could have laid the body. Could have absolutely laid out Pittsburgh's player.
On Lars Eller when he was coming down?
I believe it was Eller on the far side, right in front of the Pittsburgh bench. To the left of the bench.
Oh, like no. That was the
fourth.
That was the fourth. No, it was the goal that led to Letang. No, it was the fifth. It was Letang's goal. Because that goal led to Matheson trying to force the puck in the play, and he was able to give it to a Malkin that was alone that found Letang. I get what you're saying, Chris. Yeah, but he should not be afraid to use his body. Absolutely. To me, that third goal was like something that should have never happened. The second Lars Eller goal, when he's coming down against Slavkovsky and like Justin Barron, you see he's skating backwards. it looked like he was going to catch up to it, but then he decided to let it go because he sees Matheson going after Eller, and he also sees Slavkovsky there. And listen, not to give them a total blame, but that was a wicked shot though by Lars Eller. Like, you got to give credit
Great
where it's
shot.
due too.
There was a great shot by Lars Eller, but it's one of the few times in the whole season that you're going to see both defensemen of the Montreal Canadiens who are up and past every single one of the forwards. There were all of like Barron and Matheson were the two top guys forechecking behind Pittsburgh's net. And
Yeah.
Slavkovsky's the guy. Like Slavkovsky's not gonna do. He's not great defensively by any means. And that has to like Barron. I understand that they want to go for it, but call for it. Call for it. One of you goes up. Why the fuck are two of them going up? That's the frustrating type of mistakes of today's game. And you look at that, like Savard, I just want to say one thing. This is my one and only takeaway. Like not one and only, but
he had a rough game.
My primary
before you say that, Chris, before you say credit, I'll say this when I answer this question from one of our fans. So one of the fans' question was from CED_1203. Thanks for the support. I see a question from him almost every game. What do you think about Savard's play tonight? Off night? Question mark. Answer your question, Chris. Go for it.
So my take on Savard tonight, he was -3. Okay, just side note. The only two defensemen, to Sammy's point, the only two defensemen that finished in the plus or even, Caden Gooley +1, Arbor Jacki 0. I know there were a few empty net goal. There was an empty net goal and whatever. Anyways, going back to Savard. It's Thanksgiving today. He looked like he showed up having drank the fucking gravy bowl. He wasn't ready to skate. Like hats off. Like Savard, in all honesty, has been absolutely fantastic. He's been a great veteran presence, but he's actually been holding his own and playing a great defensive game for the Canadiens. Tonight wasn't one of those games by any means.
Yeah, no, he had a rough time. He definitely had a rough time. The gravy bowl, Jesus Christ! But
he looked like he drank the gravy bowl. It was like, oh, okay.
Oh, but you know what? But in all honesty, listen, it's going to be one of those nights. Somebody asked a good question, regarding the questions we asked for on our Instagram account. Actually, I'm just going to go try to grab it up real quick.
While you do that, I'm going to answer to one of the questions on YouTube. So, the real JKV. Hey, boys, would you guys like the Habs to try and acquire Mathieu Olivier? And for who or what would the Habs offer? Personally speaking, I would love to have a guy like that on the roster. At what cost? So let me think about that one, because that's not an easy. Again, we spent the better part of the summer and the beginning of the season saying that we don't want to block up a roster spot for one of the younger guys. So yes, would love to have him, but Sammy or Anthony, you want to have a guess at what that might cost and what that
One thing's for sure is I think both Olivier and Jacki would be happy that they wouldn't have to drop the gloves against each other anymore if that were to happen. And like Mathieu Olivier is a tough motherfucker. Like even for Jacki to say like he's like that guy, you could clock him in the face how many times you want. He's not gonna nudge and he's not gonna go down. As far as
what I offer for that, I mean,
I don't know. I'd have to think about that too.
He's just a type of player for physical, but points wise, I'm looking at his stats. Last year, 12 points. The year before, 15. He's not much of a point player type guy. He's more of a defensive type player who's physical. So who would I give up? I mean, it's hard to give up someone because we have a lot of, like good potential players that can come up, like the Mayus and all these young defensemen that can score goals and be physical at the same time. So to give up that for him, I don't see a plus right now.
I'm not sure if that would ever happen, but this is one comment or question that from the Mildly Mindful. Is Lane Hudson the best offensive / worst defensive D-man ever seen in a Habs unit? So the thing is about Lane Hudson, and that's what everybody was saying, like, well, not everybody, some analysts, some people that think they're experts about the game, they were saying like, well, the way he plays in college won't transition into the NHL. Well, they've been proven wrong. Well, he's not big, he's not that physical, so he's going to have to rely on poke checking. Therefore, it might make his life a little bit more difficult on defense. Look, at the end of the day, Lane Hudson is who he is, even 6 games into his NHL career. He's another one of those players where you're just going to have to take the good with the good and the bad with the bad. And that's just what it is. But you can't deprive this kid of his talent. You got to let him play the way he plays. And listen, he right now, he's the most talked rookie in the NHL right at this very moment. And you know what? He's proving a lot of people wrong. And I think most of those people are upset that they're getting proven wrong. And I get it. It's only 4 games in. There's still another 78 games left in the season. But so far, so freaking good, I must say. Yeah, like how many opportunities has he created for guys tonight? I'm only talking about tonight. I'm not even talking about the amazing game he had on Saturday versus the Senators when not even Brady Tkachuk was able to stop him.
So you have to be able to take, like, David Savard has been backing up Lane Hudson very well to date this season. This game was a major drop off again for Savard. And why do I say that? If Lane Hudson is going to be skating up and creating these chances, if that is his so-called job to generate offense and be able to lead the rush, then you have to have somebody to back him. And the reason why he looked so bad defensively today is because he didn't have that guy to back him, and Savard wasn't there to do that. And the guys who replaced Savard, because as the boys spoke about just before, Marty shifted up and changed up the line, so it makes it that much harder too. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, just like Sammy said, you take the good and the bad, but hey, man, for the offense and the show and the spectacle that we have access to with him, I'll take it. I don't mind. I don't mind a few goals against.
So this brings it to one of the comments from Maddie __ Rodriguez. Hudson is a Calder finalist. You agree?
Maddie _ Rodriguez
Yeah.
is a Calder finalist.
Yeah.
I definitely think he could be in the conversation.
He could be in the conversation.
I definitely think he could be in the conversation. I definitely think he could be in the mix. He's gonna have to put up the points, which so far I think we could all project and agree that he most likely will. Yeah, I think so. I really think so. I haven't checked his stats yet, but like I'm pretty sure he's leading all rookies in points at 4. Or if it's not all rookies, definitely amongst all defensemen. I think so. But we've all said this, and like a lot of other people in the hockey world that's saying like he could. There's a very good chance that he could. I think he could be a finalist, 1,000%. I'm saying this 4 games in, and I think we were saying this before even fucking puck drop. Yeah, I think so for sure.
He's tied in third right now with Kale McCarr and Seth Jones. Well, there's quite a few people at 4 points, but
yeah, that's on defense. But I'm talking about rookies. You got to look at rookies.
Rookies. He's
you know the big end.
He's first right now.
There you go. So on that front, I'm gonna say yes, he'll be in the running for the Calder. But what's really scary, what's really, really, really scary, is that when you see Sportsnet talking about this guy in a positive light, and they started with the Montreal Canadiens and they started with Lane Hudson at the first intermission over the weekend. Now, for the casual fan who doesn't take note of these types of things, you know what, it might fly over your head, but they never talk about a Montreal player. Like, you have to understand there is a hype and an immediate attention that is being drawn to Lane.
Yeah.
He's doing that well. So it's a joke without being a joke.
Well,
when the Toronto fans of Sportsnet and TSN are talking about the guy as much as they are, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Toronto fans and Sens fans like are triggered. They're so fucking triggered, and it's hilarious. Sens fans try to trash talk Lane Hudson and the Canadiens in general. They're fucking hilarious. They're like that. Sens fans are like that little chihuahua that barks, thinking they're tough, but then you show a bit of face and like you come at them, they back away. The Senators fans they're hilarious. I love though how like guys like Sidney Crosby and even Malkin are like, yeah, no, like we can't wait to play against this kid and just be on the ice with him. Everybody like he's freaking out like, oh my god, I'm going up against Crosby and Malkin, but like they're kind of like, no, we're excited to play against Lane Hudson. It's great. It's great to hear. I'm gonna go and say this. The last time we had a defenseman that took us out of our seats and made us feel so excited to go watch the game, it was PK Subban.
Okay, so hard question for you both.
Yeah.
Are we in agreement that Lane Hudson is a step above Subban entertainment wise? Can we say that?
No. I say they're very, very equal.
Oh,
Okay, hold on, wait a second.
I smell a
Very,
difference
very-
of opinion on the horizon.
No, no. In terms of excitement, like no, they're the
Wait,
same.
hold on.
They're
Gameplay
same.
or no? Because you can't. No, it's two different styles of entertainment.
No,
On
Not
the
the
ice,
person,
equal.
not the
On the ice,
individual.
equal. But Subban had that off the ice as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, he had an aura.
but
Subban had an aura.
We're talking about the on the ice.
Okay, on the ice,
Yeah,
it's equal right now.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Actually, no. Wait.
Yes, guys. Every time PK would take the puck behind the net and go up with it off the ice, like the
Yeah, but
fans
not
would
like
you would
Hudson right
cheer.
now.
Yeah, but yeah, of course, guys. But yeah, we don't remember
Mhm.
because this was over 10 fucking years ago. But yeah, like it's the exact same. It's the exact
done.
same excitement.
I think
okay.
Hudson right now is a top, not a top notch.
Yeah, because
higher.
it's a lot more fresh. So you're like, oh my god, yeah. But I guys, I remember even when PK Subban was a rookie and was starting to do this, we were all like, we were freaking out the exact same way we're freaking out right now about Lane Hudson. It's two very different skill sets, but in terms of excitement, what those two have brought to the fans, what one has brought.
Okay,
to the
you're
fans,
asking about excitement feeling. Okay, yes, it's equal.
yeah.
Like,
Like
I was
asking-
I think Hudson.
I was asking
more
on
talented.
ice, like
no.
I was asking you guys on ice what you see the potential for a goal, the offensive excitement. Because you're right, Sammy. If you used to go to the Bell Center and you closed your eyes, you knew exactly when PK took the puck and when he was skating up. He had that effect on the crowd. Lane Hudson is doing the same thing. But I'm saying when you look at the player and what he's actually generating and doing, let's put aside the excitement. I'm
Okay.
saying what you guys are seeing from him. Do you not find that Lane Hudson is already a step above offensively in what he can create?
So I think Lane Hudson's smarts and vision is a little bit more than what PK had.
Okay, that's what I was
That's
getting
what
at.
So
answering the
yeah,
question.
but that's not an excitement. That's a skill or talent level. So I think in terms of hands, I think like PK had wicked hands when he was younger and when he was starting in the NHL. I find they both had that same shimmy. Maybe Hudson has slightly better moves. PK obviously he had the size and he had the shot, but I think Hudson has a bit more of he's got a bit more of the smarts, a bit more of the vision, and yeah, no, I think listen, there was that one deke that Hudson did tonight. Like he just went through two guys, like skating laterally, and just deked it in between two players, like it was nothing. I couldn't believe that when I saw it. And the whole crowd went crazy. The broadcasters on Prime went nuts too. The broadcasters on Prime, they love this kid already. They're like they just can't believe the level of confidence he has. And that's another thing too. It's both PK and Lane Hudson, what they bring is that level of confidence so young in their careers.
Yeah.
That's but yeah, no, it's awesome to see. It just didn't work out tonight. That's
I have a good question that we can open up this topic, this conversation with from Vitterson.b. Overall thoughts on the special units after 4 games.
50-50.
I agree.
Penalty kill is pretty good. Power
Feels
play,
fantastic.
like they're gonna average. If anything, they might average 1 goal a game. So far, they got one tonight. You know, the Coles got one on Saturday against my God, the Senators. Cole, the opening game, he got one against the Leafs. That was the winning goal and the only goal. So I think special teams slightly better, still needs work.
I think they need to shoot more. And I said this last episode with you, Chris, or the episode before, whatever. We need to shoot more. We're waiting for the perfect play. And I get why, because they're trying to avoid the blocks and the potential block where it can lead to a breakaway. I get that. But what happens when you shoot? Look at tonight, how goalie scored. That shot just came out of nowhere. No one expected that shot. They were doing the passes. It wasn't a perfect play. It was just a pass shot in the net. The goalie wasn't expecting that. I think that's what you need more.
I need to interrupt Chris real quick, but there were
Kirby
a couple.
Duck?
No, there were. A
I
couple
want to
plays,
address
though.
that after.
There were a couple
Save
of
that for
plays
me.
though that I thought they were in the zone on the power play, and they were so desperate to get a shot on net that on the power play they need to be a bit more patient. Like Slavkovsky, at one point he was at practically the left side of the net trying to shoot at an impossible angle. It's like you're on a power play.
I think that was at the
You
end.
got
It was the 6-on-5. The 6-on-4.
No. It was a power play before that. It was the last power play of the game in the third period where I really thought that power play, the guys were just shooting out of desperation. It's like you're on the power play, like fuck, control it, take your time, set it up. It's not something that happens often for the Canadiens, but I really thought, if we're talking about tonight's game, I thought that power play could have been, if they wanted a shot at coming back, I feel like that power play, they needed to be a lot more patient than the way they were. They were just trying to get shots on net because, they had a good shooting opportunity. They were in the slot or whatever, but just you're on the power play, man. Like, if you're not going to get that shot on net and it's going to go to the defenseman, to the opposing defender, he's going to clear it. It's like, set it up, take your time, control it.
On that front, where I stand with Matheson. I sometimes question the shots that he decides to take, but I think there's another player that we have to draw in a little attention to. As much as we love Kirby Dach, he's still definitely shaking off the rust. He made a few bad passes. His
He didn't
head's
look
not
good
up.
tonight.
Yeah, he didn't. He like on the power play in particular. He made a few. Don't get me wrong. He made a few great dekes. He made a few great rushes. He had a handful of great plays. And I love Kirby Dach, and he's going to bounce back. But it
Well, we
clearly
got a
shows that
comment
he was
from
off for a year and he hasn't played games in a
Well,
while.
Ryan Mancini's _. Dak looks slow tonight.
Yeah, Ryan
That-
McInnes. Yeah,
Ryan
Ryan McInnes.
McInnes. Sorry if I'm saying it wrong.
Yeah, Doc's.
Yeah, I put him in Italian. I made him Italian. Ryan Mancini. Ryan McInnes.
Ryan Mancini. We're gonna call him Ryan
Mancini.
Mancini. The thing about Doc, actually, Chris, it's funny because on that same power play where Slavkovsky was so desperate to get a shot off, I think it was the same one where Doc just gave like a nice sliding pass in the middle of the slot, but like right to another defenseman. I think he was trying to find Suzuki, and it was that same one. It was like, like it looked like not a lazy play. I'm not gonna go as far as saying that, but it's like, again, it was just an accumulation of mental errors. That's all it was. Like, the Canadiens' effort was there. There's some games they lost last year where they got blown out of the water, but like there was no effort whatsoever. I really felt like tonight, the first period was obviously not their greatest, but I really felt like from the second period to the rest of the game, I thought the effort was there. Just mental errors, one after the other, that ended up costing the team the game. But man, Kirby Dach, it's a year he hasn't played. Like, and we're only 4 games in regular season games. Like, he needs time. Like, he's gonna need a good 10-15 games into the season for hopefully less. He's able to shake off the rust a little bit less than that. But
well, let's go back to the question you asked me. You asked us at the beginning of this episode. What gave the team the momentum? And if we're gonna try to mimic the Boston Bruins style of play and that organization, the moment we got physical tonight, there was magic, and I think we need to bring that back. We didn't have that consistently all game, because that little section when they were very physical, that's where all the chances came from. Yeah. We are a big team. Yes, we have small players, but we're a mix of skillful players and
we're the fifth biggest. We're the fifth heaviest team in the league.
No, 100%. That's what I'm saying. But you have like a Cole Coffey and Suzuki who are a bit small players, whatever. But you still have that physical presence and that skillful presence like the Boston Bruins. We're just not using that physical side yet. And tonight we used it a little bit, and it created a lot of chances. And I think
the first period.
Yeah, exactly.
Like when there was what, less than like 6
minutes left.
in the
That's
6
when we
minutes
took
in
your
the
first
third.
shot on net.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, I know. What happened, Chris? Oh,
We
your
don't hear
mic,
you. Your
Chris.
mic is off.
Your mic is off.
Your mic's off.
Anyways,
Well, even better.
There you go.
there you go.
Well, I was gonna say, Anthony, I hate correcting any one of us, but we're trying to copy the Boston Bruins culture, not necessarily their style of play. But they played scared. They did play again. I had this comment
Last
2
posting.
games ago when they went for 15 minutes without a shot. They looked like perimeter players. They looked like they were playing on the outside. They weren't getting their noses dirty. And then suddenly, and hats off to the Gallagher, Evans, Armias, who jumped in and started playing that physical game because then when that physical game, maybe it's not Boston's game, but when that physical game was reintroduced, everybody suddenly got that confidence. Like, okay, we can hit. We're not going to get a boo boo. We can actually play a manly hockey game. And they have to, like, again, even on the power play. Think about the power play goal that they scored tonight. I implore everybody to go rewatch what happened. They fought to keep that puck in the zone. They fought and they won the puck back, I think, twice, potentially even 3 times. It was dirty, not dirty in the sense of
No,
in
it's
a
like
like
get your nose, get in there. Yeah, get your
Exactly.
nose
They
dirty.
fought
Yeah.
for the puck along the boards. They won it back. Caulfield sent it back, got passed across, and that's what opened up the space to Suzuki. But they have to do that, whether it's a power play or a penalty kill or 5-on-5 hockey. They have to have that level of aggression and fight to go get the puck because when that happens, when it's not happening, well, Canadians were down 2-0.
Well, I felt like they did that when they pulled the goalie. Like that was an intense sequence, though,
Mhm.
and like Chris, you're gonna you and I are gonna laugh about this, but when Matheson fucked up, wanted to make a pass, I think he fanned on the pass or the shot. Pittsburgh was countering, but he did this last year, but he did that poke check, kept the puck alive and in the zone, and then obviously the rest of the sequence happened the way it happened. That too, though, I thought they were getting their nose dirty for it was that was at least over a minute and a half.
Yeah, it was like 2 minutes almost.
Something like that. Like Pittsburgh got tired. Just Jarry was able
If
to.
they would have scored on that sequence, I think we could have potentially tied that game.
I mean, it would have definitely given them life, but I would have loved to have seen them score a goal just for the sake of seeing a goal and whoever would have gotten the points. But yeah, no, they can't be afraid of getting their nose dirty. And I feel like some games they do. Like they weren't afraid against the Senators. They weren't afraid against the Leafs, but they were afraid a bit against Boston and a bit tonight against Pittsburgh. Not that they got physically outplayed by Pittsburgh compared to Boston, but they can't be afraid to throw the body around. I just want to mention one last player before we get to the Instagram thoughts and questions. Emil Heineman, man. Like,
what a beautiful shot.
What a shot. You know what Emil Heineman is doing? Emil Heineman is doing what Jesse Alonen should have done last year.
Yeah.
Like when Jesse Alonen got called up because he was actually playing very well in Laval. I do remember. But he looked like he was lacking a bit of like that extra effort. Emil Heineman is, dude, like he how can I say this? He's playing like he's got that Pizzetta energy, but he could fucking snipe it if he has the opportunity. And he doesn't, and obviously he's not gonna fight, but like Emil Heineman he's a fast skater. He could hit. Like he's not a small player. And what a shot. What a fucking shot. 2 goals in 2 games. Like good for him. And
it's a very good momentum built up for him.
And dude, that's why Barré Boulet got sent down. It's because Emil Heineman and Oliver Kapanen are out playing him. And Barré Boulet, I'm happy that he didn't get claimed. He's going to go to Laval and he's going to play with the guys in Laval. fuck, man, Emil Heineman is earning every single minute of ice time, and in the famous Marty words, like he's earning his seat, he's earning his chair, whatever you want to call it. Like, good for him, man. I fucking love it. I love what I'm seeing from him. I love what I see from Oliver Kapanen too. He's going to take a bit more time. Emil Heineman has a bit more of that North American experience. But man, good on both of them. I'm very happy. I was a little bit surprised that Heineman made the team, to be honest, but looking back now, 4 games in, he's already got 2 goals. It's awesome.
Player that we're not talking much about. I want to know if you guys feel the same way, but I'm noticing Anderson a lot more.
Yes.
I know it's only 4 games in, but last year he was invisible for a fucking while. And we kept talking about him because we kept saying, where is he? Where is he? But in 4 games, I'm seeing him really put a lot of pressure.
I like that. Yes. I really, really do like that point, Anthony. Yes, I do. I am noticing him. He's doing the right things. Like, I feel like he's skating a bit more. I feel like he's faster a little bit. I don't know.
Going for the puck. Remember that when we first signed him, I think Joey brought it up, how he was a scary player of injury prone because he would go really fast to the boards to go get that puck at the corner. Mm-hmm. And that's how he's been doing that a lot lately. I'm noticing even tonight he went behind the net to go get the puck. He's putting himself involved a lot more this year. And I'm back to the player that we kind of seen when he first started with us. So if you could start putting points in, it'd be nice. But
that's a great point, Ant. We'll get to the Instagram thoughts and questions. This is a funny one by Dougie.fresh.90. Did the boys eat too much turkey tonight? That first period had post-turkey vibes.
Like I said, Savard had the whole bowl of gravy. Just drank the whole thing.
Here, another from Anthony.ebarb, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. If Montreal keeps playing like they did in the second, you mentioned.
Yeah, we brought that up.
We did bring that up.
I can go through the ones we didn't answer yet.
Yeah,
there are more statements. So first off, thank you to all our listeners and fans for these questions. I'm writing back to you guys to tell you that we spoke about it, so you guys can come and listen to it. So again, thanks for your love and support. The rest of the comments are more statements, like Angie_Mancini. So that's the Italian name. Before it was Martinez. This is Mancini. So thank you, Angie, for your comment here. I'm feeling it this season. What about you? I think it's too soon to feel it, but I can't answer that right now.
But you know what? You're feeling it right now. They're a 500 team. Are we feeling that this year? So could this team be a 500 team?
Absolutely. They already beat 2 of their division rivals. In three of the first games, they beat 2 of their division rivals, and it was pretty damn close still against Boston, nevertheless.
Yeah. Okay.
What I didn't see tonight from what I saw last year is we saw it against Boston. So I think, again, it's just one game, but that 5-3, I thought they were going to come back and go. That's why at the beginning of the game, at the beginning of this post-game show, I said I was disappointed not getting that point because something we saw last year a lot was we're down 2 goals in the third. We came back, went to overtime and lost. And last year we were excited to just get that 1 point or even getting that fight just to see the fight of the character of this team. But again, it's too soon to tell for me.
This question from Ryan McInnes, not Mancini. And when do we put Barron on waivers? Oh, fuck. I don't think it's going to happen. No, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. And I'm going to take one more, Ant, and then you could do another. Malik Joe says, who needs a goal tonight? He for sure sent this
at the beginning
before the third period or during the third period. Who needs a goal? You know what? 2 guys that I really were hoping to score a goal tonight was Slavkovsky, and he got it. And I really wanted Doc to score tonight. Like I really, really, really did. I'm going to answer this guy. Big Pizza Pie. Hey guys, how's it going? Well, I mean, it's good. It's Thanksgiving, so lots of things to be thankful for.
Thank you,
Despite the
Big
loss.
Pizza Pie, for your support. He was at the last live show. He was really involved in our comment box here. So again, thanks, Big Pizza Pie, for
Can't
your
forget Eric
support.
in the comments too.
Oh,
He was the first to comment. Give him a
sorry,
little love.
Eric. Sorry, Eric. Thanks for your
Pretty
support.
sure we showed this, but anyways, yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Eric. Yeah, I'm feeling it this season. We said that. Man, we are executing. This team looks scary. Dawes _ garage. That was in the second period. And it's like, yeah, it's again, it's they need that consistency. And
Yeah.
again, we're only 4 games in, but it's they're gonna have to work on that.
Exactly.
They're gonna have to work on that because they lost the same way tonight again, kind of like they did with Boston. There was like a bit of that back and forth, but like
Hey, look, if it,
yeah,
I don't want to say this, but that Boston game, if it wasn't if it was Primo's mistakes, we could have been
maybe,
a very close game.
yeah, maybe, yeah. No,
We showed a lot of character against Boston. It wasn't a
honestly,
perfect game,
tonight
but
for sure, but tonight's game, Sam Montembeault, nowhere near to blame. If it wasn't for him, it could have been like 8-3. It could have been even like
have you guys
9-3.
noticed how calm and collective this guy is? I don't know if you guys watch on Prime.
Anthony, he wants to make that Canada team for that Four Nations tournament.
Yeah.
Like he wants to make that team. And
you guys notice what Prime videotaped him at the bench?
Yes.
While
Yeah.
he was just with his eyes closed, drinking water. Like where, like he's in a zone. The guy, like he doesn't care where he is. He's just in that moment, living
Anthony,
it.
just
Wasn't there
whatever.
a Celine Dion song playing at that moment? I thought he was just singing along. Like I'm just messing with you. Yeah, he was definitely in his zone.
Whatever you do, just don't ever close your eyes and don't ever do that on camera ever again, please. Whatever you do.
Only you would catch something like that. Fucking guy.
What can I say? What is the real JKV said? Road tripping from Toronto for Thursday's game. Haven't been to the Bell Center in 6 years. Wow, nice.
Behind enemy lines, good man.
Big Pizza Pie asks, why is Kapanen on the 4th line? I'll try him on the 2nd line with Doc and Newhook. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. Again, I still think. Listen, if we're gonna talk about Marty switching lines, I still think, I don't know why he doesn't have Evans with Gallagher and Armia. The 3 of them have great chemistry together. And because Josh Anderson is playing a little bit better than what he was last year, why not try him on the line with Doc and Newhook?
Thank you. I want Anderson to go back on the 2nd line. I think
I really think so. Like Big Pizza Pie, I'm going to call you that. But I'm not against Kapanen on the 2nd line. I just think
I think Anderson deserves a little bit more right now.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. And I think Kapanen is good where he is on the 4th line for now, just a bit of that 2-way role with Dvorak. And again, I'm not saying it always works magic, but I think Anderson just deserves it a little bit more. But listen, I'm not totally against Kapanen on the 2nd line either. So Missy Miyal, if that's how you pronounce it. Intense game for sure. Yeah, absolutely. After the 2nd period, that was awesome. And
the last
Silver,
one.
Yeah, Silver _ and Black _ Black 9. Silver and Black 9. They're playing really well. Good hockey tonight. Yeah, that was before the ship started sinking in the 3rd period. But it's weird though. Like hearing the comments and all that. Like this game was
an up and down game.
It was an up and down game. Like good effort, just sometimes maybe effort not in the right places. To me tonight it was just the mental errors. Like the effort was there, it was just mental errors that kind of shot them in the foot.
Question for you. I go, Chris.
Just on that front, I wish too that the refs called a little bit of a better game, because the call against Montreal was weak. Montreal was much more disciplined, in my opinion, in this game, which was good to see. But I mean, they could have called a few more on Pittsburgh. They really could have, and I would have loved to have seen a few more looks.
That was a tripping call, and that they missed out on, and that interference near the net that should have been called. 2 missed penalties that could have, again, not blaming the refs for this loss, but it could have changed the game a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think at some point the refs put the whistles away, or were just letting the boys play.
Yeah.
And I get it. They missed the tripping call here, tripping call there. Like the Pittsburgh got more penalties than Montreal did. So just that one penalty that Armia got off the face-off for elbowing or for roughing, I thought that was like
horrible. It was stupid,
garbage,
undeserved.
Anyways, whatever. It is what it is. But
I want to ask you guys this question.
Yeah, go.
Really off topic here, not
last question.
Whole game show.
Last question of the episode. Let's go.
So actually, 2 comments. One, do you guys notice? Are you guys feeling what I'm seeing? I don't know what it is. I'm having a heart. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love number 13 with Cole Caulfield. I prefer number 22, to be honest. He's a 22 guy for me. But do you sometimes get confused and think it's Camilleri? I don't know what it is. Since it's 4 games now, and I just keep seeing Camilleri, I have a hard time taking it out of my fucking head.
It's gonna take getting used to. I think once like we're halfway through the season, then we'll get used to it. That's all.
Yeah, for sure. But it's funny because every time I see it, I'm like, is that Camilleri? Because he's the same style, right? The shorts with the blue hat, like the blue helmet. It looks exactly Camilleri.
Yeah, just Camilleri was a lefty.
Yeah. Last comment, guys, just for fun. Speaking of stats, try to guess who are the 2 top goalies in the league right now. I know it's only 4 games in, but it's just funny.
In the NHL
right now. 2 top goalies
for what, in terms of wins or
everything. Just go. Wait, is it?
I'm not gonna go on any website. I'm gonna say
goals against average.
Well, what's his name in?
That was Hellebuck. There was Hellebuck who was up there.
Hellebuck's up there.
I saw the stats this morning. I saw the stats this morning, and Hellebuck was there.
It can't be Montembeault
and Jake Allen.
Well, Jake Allen got a shutout today.
Right now, Montembeault and Jake Allen are tied for first for goals against average.
Well, that's going to change after
100%. And then saves percentage, Sam Montembeault is there, and shutouts, Sam Montembeault is number 1. So
yeah, which is not. So listen, he's off to a great start, Montembeault, and I just truly believe he wants to make that Team Canada. He wants to make Team Canada for the 4 Nations tournament. So before we go, guys, the Laval Rocket, they started their season 2 games in. They won their first game and then lost their second. On the opening game, Logan Mailloux, 4 points, 2 goals and 2 assists. Philip Machar, a goal and 2 assists, and then he got another assist on the second game. A goal by Jared Davidson, assisted by Owen Beck, who got his first point as a pro player. Philip Machar got another point. Machar's got 4 points in 2 games with the Laval Rocket so far. I'm just saying.
Nice to see.
It's great to see, and I hope he keeps this up because he's playing like a first-round pick.
Even Mailloux is playing very good hockey.
Dude, Mailloux, he's.
I hope
I didn't see the second game. Even though it was a loss, but as soon as there's an injury, like I know we talk about Strubal's going to be back real soon, but if there's an actual injury where a defenseman goes on the IR, like Logan Mailloux is an automatic call up. Like there's no debate.
Yeah,
I'm gonna throw a grenade into our discussion over here, and it's gonna blow everything up. With the unfortunate turn of events and everything, and it's not a knee-jerk reaction. It's from what I'm seeing performance-wise. Doesn't matter if there's a age discrepancy. Logan Mailloux jumped above Reinbacher in my depth chart or my top prospects chart. I think I've had a feeling for a while, and I know we picked Reinbacher at 5, but Mailloux, I think there's just something special from the moment that he donned the C in the prospects game. Like everything that he's doing is just right, and it's just panning out. It's just working out for him. It's like the guy dealt with all the shit at the beginning of his life or earlier on in his life, and it's as though he's really steered the ship in the right direction. He's got the sails up, and the wind is blowing right into them. I think he's just going so much in the right direction, and I can't wait for him to be playing with the big club. Take your time, get those points, get that experience in the minors, but I can't wait for him
But
to be a Montreal Canadian.
I also think that Ryan Backer injury, like that still breaks my heart. I really wanted to see him play, but anyways, it is what it is, and obviously we wish him a speedy recovery. So that's all I got for tonight, boys.
I'm good.
You're good. Awesome. Okay. Well, we're going to wrap up another live episode of the Curfew Boys on YouTube. Once again, like and subscribe. It is absolutely free. Tell your friends about us. Share it with your fellow Habs friends all around the world. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or X. And I think we're on TikTok. I think we're on Twitch, whatever other platforms there are. Audio episodes available on Apple Podcast, Spotify. Sammy, on behalf of Chris and Anthony, gentlemen, thank you so much for doing this. Thursday night against the LA Kings, who had a crazy game against the Senators, lost in overtime by final score of 8-7. That was actually pretty wicked. But the LA Kings are in town. Philip Danault is back in town. And let's hope for a win because the boys need it. Gentlemen, until then.
Bye now.
Bye now.
Good night.
Dynasty.